Hi guys, it's Isis. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about a cold, hard truth. And that truth is, you should not waste your time trying to build evidence and prove to your family members that the narcissist in your family is toxic. They will never believe you. No matter how much evidence you acquire, they will never believe you. A narcissistic family operates the same way a cult does. If you don't believe me, you can watch Dr. Ramani's leading expert in the field of psychology when it comes to narcissism. You can watch her video about how narcissistic families operate the same as cults. You can click here to check that out. And then you can watch this video by the leading cult expert about how hard it is to deprogram a cult member. Okay, you can check those two videos out if you need extra proof of this. So if you are acquiring evidence to prove how toxic the narcissist in your life is, if you are going to court for a custody battle or a divorce, and this information is going to be shown to a judge or a jury or another human being who is not in your family, who is capable of rational thoughts, by all means, acquire your evidence. If you need to videotape them saying horrible things or doing horrible things or throwing things or whatever evidence you need to acquire, go ahead and do it. If you're trying to gather this information to show your family and prove that this mom is toxic, dad is toxic, they're a horrible narcissist, it does not matter how much information you acquire. Your family members will never believe you. Here's the rub. They actually already know. They just don't care. They will do anything and everything to maintain the status quo, go along to get along, and not rock the boat. Okay? Your family members already know how dysfunctional your toxic narcissist in your family is. They'll just never admit it. They'll never admit it. It suits their purposes not to admit it. Please consider going to my website and signing up for my book's mailing list. There's a narrative about a mother who disconnected from her toxic, abusive father and how it's now affecting the next generation. It's part of the subplots in my novel. I've been told it's very well handled by my editor and my beta readers. I can shine light on why it is so important to get out of these toxic families through my writing. That's what I'm going to do. You will drive yourself crazy trying to prove to your toxic family that the narcissist is an evil person. Your other family members will never believe you. Never. And I'm going to use an example from the media about how deep and ingrained an enabler's ability to enable is. Let's talk about Sean Diddy Combs and him hitting his ex-girlfriend in the hallway of a hotel room. It was captured on video, him beating this poor girl, him pulling her back into the hotel room by her hair. So many people have come out with allegations against him. I mean, I'm not even going to talk about them. At this point, I think it might be faster to list the crimes that Diddy isn't being allegedly accused of. Okay, maybe he never jaywalked, or maybe he never removed one of those labels, those do not remove labels from the mattress in the store, okay? It'd be shorter to list the crimes that he didn't do. His mother, oh my God, her response: "It is heartbreaking to see my son judged, not for the truth, but for a narrative created of lies, to bear witness what seemed like a public lynching of my son before he had the opportunity to prove his innocence is a pain too unbearable to put into words. My son may not have been entirely truthful about certain things, such as denying he had ever gotten violent with his ex-girlfriend when the hotel surveillance showed otherwise. Sometimes the truth and a lie become so closely intertwined that it becomes terrifying to admit one part of the story, especially when the truth is outside the norm or too complicated to be believed. Lady, your son was caught red-handed beating the hell out of his girlfriend. Everything you just said is twisting the truth. You do not say, maybe this is the truth and maybe this is lies. Under a situation where your son was caught beating the hell out of a woman, okay? That is not an applicable situation to go, maybe it's truth or maybe it's lies. If you have concrete proof that your son beat the hell out of his girlfriend in the hotel lobby, and you're going, maybe it's truth or maybe it's lies, you are an enabler You are a disgusting excuse for a woman, a human being, and a mother. And maybe if you had done a better job raising him, he wouldn't be such a monster. And I'm sorry that's harsh, but I have no tolerance for enablers with this much delusion and this making up this many excuses for this level of abuse. It's just disgusting. If P. Diddy's mother can't even admit that, yes, my son is guilty of domestic violence after seeing that video, what do you think your family's going to do if you do a video recording of your narcissistic parent or sibling saying horrible, toxic, abusive things? How easy do you think it's going to be to excuse the verbal abuse or even the physical abuse if it's on this level? If it's verbal abuse, they're going to go, oh, they didn't mean it. They were just in a bad mood. They were having a hard day. They will never give you that aha moment where they admit how toxic the abuse is. Never. Because your family already knows how toxic the abuse is. They just don't care to admit it. Maybe they're in a financial situation where they're benefiting from the money, like Sean Combs' mother, who's been, living happily off the millions that he made. Maybe they're in a situation where they know they're going to inherit money from the narcissist, and they don't care if you're out of the will. Maybe they're in a situation where they just don't want to be targeted by the narcissist, and they know as the scapegoat, you're taking all the abuse, so they can happily live their lives without the abuse. Whatever the situation is, your family already knows that the narcissist is abusive. They just don't care. And it does not matter how much evidence you acquire. You could have a document that's certified by the FBI, the CIA, a doctor, a psychologist, the chief of police. All these people could have their signed, sealed, notarized signature on a document saying your mother is a raging, dangerous narcissist. The enablers in your family will still never, ever admit the truth. Get another arena. You need to fight in a different arena. Start a podcast, start a YouTube channel, write a book. Other people will listen to you talk about how horrible the abuse you endured is and relate that to their lives and go, oh my God, I have to get out of this, or I have to stop doing this, or I have to put up boundaries, okay? Other people will join your fight and listen to you, but not your family members. Thank you for listening. If this was helpful, please subscribe. All right, thank you. Please subscribe and good luck.